What's up guys, Zami here and you're watching Heavy Metal Pomp. Today I've got another product review for you. Previously we had a look at Prof Spike and their main lineup, but for today we're gonna be looking at their sister lineup. For today we're gonna be looking at the I Hate Monday Abraham. Now this is a water-based matte paste with a firm to heavy hold, and of course I want to thank Aziz for sending me this. Thanks bro. And without further ado, we're gonna take a closer look at the jar right now. And here we have I Hate Monday's Abraham. Comes in a 4-ounce amber glass jar with a silver lid. It has a really nicely designed label on the lid. You get a similar design on the side label as well. You get some information of the brand on both sides. And you also get this tag label with the product name, the product specifics, and the ingredients. The overall presentation I do think is really nice, but I kinda wish that the product name was on the jar itself cause it's pretty tricky to distinguish between the three in the lineup. And if you open it up, you get this slightly greyish paste inside. The scent, according to the label, is supposed to be a gentleman's scent. And what I get is pretty much a cheap cologne scent. Gonna be honest, not a fan of the scent, but it's not terrible either. It's also a fairly subtle scent that's noticeable but not overpowering. Now scooping it out, comes out pretty easily. It's firm but really soft as well. Has a really satisfying consistency, and breaking it down, really smooth, but the more you break it down, the more dry and tacky it gets. Breaks down into this white paste, and going into the hair, it's pretty easy, but there is quite a bit of tugging and pulling. It starts to feel quite a bit more dry once it's in the hair, but it's still not terrible. I'm applying it to completely dry hair, and the tugging and pulling is still manageable. Of course, if you want to apply it into damp or towel dried hair, please go ahead. The scent, like I mentioned earlier, is quite noticeable, but it does fade down quite a bit throughout the day. And as for the shine, I don't think it's entirely matte. It's more of a natural finish, but it's definitely no shine added. Which is pretty weird because on the label, it says it's a medium to high shine, which doesn't make any sense for a matte paste. Get it? Matte paste. So looking at back, definitely very thick and dry. Wouldn't really recommend you to do this, but I am still gonna keep doing this. I would definitely advise you to use a wider tooth comb or an afro pick to style with this, because it doesn't really handle neater styles that well. I'm gonna style my hair now. Talk to you again in a bit. And I think I'm pretty much just gonna call that done. So as you can tell, I'm getting a pretty good amount of height and volume. My sides are a bit more loose, but they are kept in place. For a matte paste, it has more of a coarse texture rather than a fine texture, getting that matte to natural finish, and the scent is subtle but noticeable. So anyways, let's talk more about Abraham. Like I mentioned earlier, I Hate Monday is the sister lineup from Prof Spike. All their products are homebrewed, and the main difference between the two lineups is that the main lineup is supposed to provide more of a mass consumer appeal, while the I Hate Monday lineup is supposed to provide more of a homebrew appeal. As for the product itself, I think it's a pretty alright matte paste, though I have to admit, I'm not entirely impressed. As you saw earlier on, application with this stuff is pretty straightforward, has a firm but soft scoop, breaks down really easily, and goes into the hair with a bit of tugging and pulling. Styling with this stuff is also pretty easy, you get a good amount of control, and it also provides a decent amount of volume to your hair. The texture, like I mentioned earlier, is more of a coarse rather than a fine texture, so it feels a bit more like a clay rather than a matte paste to me. The shine, like I mentioned earlier, is more of a matte to natural finish rather than the medium to high shine that it claims to be on the label, which definitely is a good thing. Now for the hold, I don't really think that you get that firm to heavy hold it claims to be. What I get is more of a lightweight medium to firm hold at best. Now I think where my main issue lies with Abraham is with the endurance. I find the product to be way too lightweight and dry for it to really keep my hair in place throughout the day, and even right now I can see it deflating, which isn't really a great thing. Of course I can just push my hair back in place. I think that looks pretty alright, but it's just gonna deflate again, and I do find it quite annoying to be honest. Of course, if you have much shorter hair than I do, it's gonna hold up perfectly fine. It's just not meant for my kind of hairstyle. And as for washing this out, I find that about one shower with shampoo should get the job done. Rinsing it does leave behind a really light and clean buildup, which doesn't really offer hold for next day use but can provide some control. So anyways, final verdict on I Hate Monday's Abraham. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I do wish it provided a bit more stickiness rather than how dry it is, but it's still a pretty good matte paste overall. It's definitely more for shorter textured hairstyles, so if you're going for that, this is a pretty decent option. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the review. Do leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel right here, or you can check out my last video right here. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.